train your endurance for tennis basically comes down to two different areas, okay? We have your endurance to play long points one after the other. Maybe you run from side to side, a long rally point. You only have 20-25 seconds to recover in between, and then you've got to be ready to play the next point. And we also have the endurance that covers you through a long, maybe a 3-set match. You play one afternoon, the next day you have to come back and play again, okay? For the short interval work, which as I said is your recovery between your points, you play a long point, you need to be ready for the next one. We work on that by doing a lot of short interval training actually on the court, and you can have a racket for this when you're moving and actually swing, or you can do it without and just have cones down and do your different positions. And for that we go the interval of running, it's high intensity, full sprint running, and we go anywhere from 4 or 5 seconds at a time up to about 20-25 seconds. The rest in between each set is going to be again anywhere from about 10 seconds to about 25 to 30 seconds, depending on what level your player is at. Intervals for the long endurance, you can either make it a straight run. Let's say you're doing a minute interval, you can put 2 cones or 2 markers about 30 seconds apart. Your player will run up, make a turn and come back. You can also break it into shorter intervals. You can also break it into intervals with more changes of direction. The time still stays the same, maybe a minute they're running, but they have different cones and they go back and forth just to simulate the change of direction that you have when you play the long points on the court. For the longer endurance training, and more so in the past than nowadays, a lot of players have been going for 4 or 5 mile slow runs. And you can definitely get benefits in your overall endurance from this, but with a tennis-specific training, it can also have adverse effects against your speed on the court. Tennis is a game of fast step, first step, a lot of change of direction, and really fast acceleration on the court. So if you do too much long distance running, you can find that it affects your speed a little bit on the court. And I said the longer endurance interval work, where you're going for a minute, minute and a half, and then resting, that's a way where you can get the same benefits, the same cardio benefits, and the same endurance benefits, but you don't lose that speed. And when we're working on the endurance with the players, for me, I always prefer to do more running and on-court stuff as opposed to riding the bike, just because when you go on the bike, if you want to get your heart rate up really high and you want to do the high intensity intervals, you're going to find more often than not that your legs are actually going to burn out before your heart rate gets up high enough to get a lot of benefit from the exercises, okay? The bike is a great way to have like a low impact, especially for the cool down and for some general cruises and flush of the body. But if you really want to hit that endurance hard, whether it's short intervals or long intervals, I would stick to the running, a lot of change of direction, and that way you can really get your heart rate up high in the zones and in the areas that you need before your legs burn out too much. I hope you enjoyed my session. If you'd like to book a one-on-one session with me, please visit my profile page only at Expert Connect.